My name's Dave DeBow, founder of MoneyPartnerFormula.com, and this show is built for everyday real estate investors who are actively doing deals and looking to scale using other people's money. So if you're an active real estate investor and you want to get featured on this show to talk about your own real estate and capital raising experiences, then just go to daveinterviewyou.com. Now let's get rolling with this episode, and remember to subscribe for daily interview content.
All right, guys, welcome to Property Profits Podcast. I'm your host, Bryce Kaminsky, filling in for Dave Dubois. And have you ever wondered how to create passive income through private money lending in real estate? Well, today, my guest, Stacy Patel from Golden Handshake Capital, is here to unveil the secrets behind this lucrative venture. Stacy, welcome to the show. We're excited to delve into your expertise.
Thanks so much for asking me to be on, and I am so excited to disseminate this information to everyone to create that passive income. That's why we're here.
So can you tell us more about yourself and your journey into real estate investment and private money lending?
Sure. I started with real estate investment by accident in Arizona when I was just a young adult, and had a series of events happen, and learned that you could buy land or houses and sell them at a higher cost. And this was, something I didn't really know about, and I kind of fell into it and just started growing my experiences from there in Arizona and then into California. And I learned that other people need to borrow your money, and you could become a capital partner in their investment. And just kind of grew from there. A couple of years ago, we legitimized this concept and started to create a network through relationships, not what you know, but who you know. But then I also decided to really ramp up my education and become a subject matter expert. So now, not only do I run a private money lending network, I also want to educate people on how for them to become, their own wealth managers. And I think to take their power back and learn how to diversify their portfolios, not only in the real estate investing space, but also private money.
So how do you balance your roles as a real estate investor, educator, and network facilitator?
Serial entrepreneur. I guess it's all about passion, and all of us that are running our own businesses have to find a balance. I have a team of folks to support me on the real estate investment side and also on the private network side. So I've scaled my business to acquire team members, and the education is passion. I'm not making $1 million on the education part. I don't have coaching. I don't do those things. There are a million people out there that have wonderful programs that you can, purchase and sign up for already. And for me, I'm more focused on giving the education to the people to join our network and for them to create wealth. So I don't have a coaching program. I can consult, but other than that, I just want to make everybody a whole lot of money together.
So could you explain the concept of private money lending in real estate for listeners who, may be unfamiliar with it?
Sure, that's a really great question. So there's two types of lending when we're talking about private money. If you do a quick Google search, you put in private money lending, a whole ton of queries are going to come up in the search query. And most of them are going to be institutional funders. They all have capital LLC at the end of them. A lot of these hard money lenders advertise themselves as private money lenders, and there's nothing wrong with that. There is a difference. They are utilizing institutional funds from hedge funds, insurance companies, private family funds, and they are utilizing their rate of return from those institutions, charging a different rate, and then taking the slide in between that's how they make their money on their business. So that is considered hard money. If you look it up online, it is considered private money, they say. Well, the difference to me with private money is I call it human money. It's individual lenders that want to utilize their capital, investments in their revenue income streams in order to diversify their portfolio and investments. It's always really great to diversify your investments with whatever tools that you're going to use, and this is just one of them. So private money, actually, in my definition, comes from humans, private individuals, and they are capital investors in your project. They're almost like equity partners in your project, and that's kind of the way that I view it.
Yeah. So what are some benefits of private money lending compared to hard money? Because you're right, hard money is like 15, could be as many as 20 points, and they are just double double lending, then maybe they got a $5 million line of credit and they have it at 4% and they move it and they charge you 15 and they take 10 for facilitating it. So what are some benefits of private money lending compared to that kind of traditional hard money?
Sure. I mean, I'm also promoting hard money. I think
Hmm.
that there is space in this real estate environment or ecosystem for all different types of lending. We very much need hard money lenders because they do facilitate maybe larger distributions of capital for larger projects.
And
It is
speed
important.
too.
And speed.
Hard money lender, if you're in a jam, you might not like their interest rate,
Mhm.
but Friday they can have that for you. But sign here, sign here, and we'll get
Exactly.
you that money on Friday and just, pay the bills or we're coming for the house.
Yeah, I mean, and the reason that they can do that is because they're using institutional funds that have insurance policies and they also spread out their losses, right?
Hmm.
Private money, it's coming from my bank account, it's coming from someone's bank account. So the advantages are definitely not going to come on the points perspective or on the returns. I don't look at it as points. I look at it as profit sharing, to be honest with you, because you are asking a human that probably took a very long time to amass some wealth in
Yeah.
order to invest in your project. So to me, it's profit sharing. It's nothing to do with points. It takes the relationship of borrower and lender to the next, I guess, tier of relationship because you have to have a relationship. So private money to me is based upon relationships. There is a due diligence process that is in private money that could be similar to hard money,
Hmm.
but because you're using someone else's hard-earned cash, right? So the advantages of using private money are also speed. That in on my network, I have a large group of lenders that I've established rapport with. Our company vets the deal, vets the borrower, or underwrites the whole thing, and we hand the package over to the lender with all the due diligence documents collected. So we can work very fast as well. We can work as fast as the title companies can work in
Hmm.
order to clear, do their work as well and attorneys. So speed, I want to say private money could be even faster. There's less hoops. There's no board you have to worry about.
Hmm.
We underwrite the deal, we service the loan in-house. So we actually have more control and each lender has their own lending box. So it's
Yeah.
really wonderful. And then you're establishing a lifelong relationship that can grow and scale businesses because in private lending, you can get 100% financing. Go find that on hard money. Good luck.
Yeah, 80%, 90%. You can get creative,
Maybe.
maybe, but
Sure.
typically 70% is probably what you guys are seeing as well. So let's talk a little bit about scaling and operations. You mentioned scaling as one of your challenges. How have you approached scaling your business, and what strategies have you found to be most effective?
So the challenge is you have to spend money to make money sometimes, and you have to have a business plan. So for me, I hired a business coach. I don't mind being the least educated person in the room and surrounding
Mhm.
myself with very, very smart people. So I went and I hired the best person for the best fit for the job that I wanted, which was learning how to scale my business. So I hired somebody to help me. I invested money into my business. And then I listened. If you can hire the best expert in the world, if you're not coachable, it doesn't really matter what they say. You have to learn how to take in the information,
Mhm.
integrate it into what you want to learn, and then execute it. So we all have analysis paralysis. You hear that? That is the business killer and is the scaling killer of your business. So I hired somebody that gave me the tools. I created a plan and I implemented them. And I also decided to create more of a niche market for myself. You can't be everything to everybody.
Yeah,
You have to,
certainly.
pick a lane. I'm an avid reader. I read about 50 books a year, always trying to get more information into my brain. So I read this book recently. It's very popular out there, all about how to really focus your strategy on a very small lane. Get rid of 80% of the junk, focus on your 20%. And that is what changed my business in a very short time period. So again, I think whatever advice you get, you have to integrate it, make it happen, and then be flexible and pivot. Pivotabilization, is that even a word? That's what's
Yeah.
going to bring you to the next level, I think, for scaling.
Well, it's always interesting too when people hire coaches and mentors and then don't listen to them. It's like, why did you even like, why are you here? If I give you like, I'm telling you how to do it, like go
Exactly.
hire a personal chef to teach you to cook and then do it your way. You could have done that for free. You could do it your way for free.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
people out there, if you're going to hire someone, you're going to bring in a consultant, you should, take it with a grain of salt if it sounds crazy. But one rule I usually follow is take advice from people you'd trade places with. If you're looking at their business and you wouldn't trade places, then perhaps they're not a fit for your business. They're maybe behind you, or maybe they're not as far ahead as they come off as. So it's always a tricky business in consulting. It's like hiring employees. You never know what you're going to get until the tires hit the road, right? So
Well, I
go ahead.
think that on that, just to touch on that point, is that to me, a really good coach or consultant or anyone you're going to get expertise from who's going to charge you a fee for knowledge is really important for me. I,
Mhm.
I want to honor people's roads, and they've amassed knowledge over their lifetime, and that's definitely worth. For me, it's very, very worth it. If they're willing to offer you some references or referrals or some evidence, that is a really great key to me to say, that's a flag that I'm going to follow, because then I can talk to people that they work with. So if
Mhm.
they're hesitant or then I'm like, oh, why won't you show me what you've done? So
Mhm.
keep that in mind for sure.
So what are some insights into, managing time and maintaining focus with all the opportunities in the real estate market? Because I imagine as like you're investing currently, or is it primarily all on the private money side?
I'm a private money lender. I facilitate transactions as a consultant, and I'm also a real estate investor as well. So I wear many hats.
So
Um,
yeah, give us some insights
yeah.
on managing time and maintaining that focus, because that's
You're
at least three hats.
you're funny. Managing time. Well, I hope that the listeners out there can really empathize with this, is that there's a lot of strategies out there. Time blocking, like lots. I don't listen to any of them. I will say I work a million hours a day because I have a goal. My strategy is I have goals, I have milestones, I have my project management certification. So for me, in what I learned in that is look at the long haul. What's the end? Reverse engineer the milestones backwards. So for me, I do whatever I need to do in order to get it done. So
Mhm.
I guess I just have a different strategy. People say, oh, I only answer emails between this time. That doesn't work for me. I'm on my phone. I have emails. I'm moving and grooving all the time. I'm leaving. I am super passionate, super focused. I love people. I'm an extreme extrovert. So I wish I could answer that better, but my strategy is I don't have
Well,
one.
I think you really dialed in on something really crucial there. It's the same thing I say to people who are like, what strategy should I use
Yeah.
for finding deals? And I said, the one you can consistently do. Because the
Amen.
one you can have any strategy in the world. What gym should I go to? The one that you can make it to. What exercises should you do? The ones you can consistently do. Like that's the real answer in the game. Because if you can't bring yourself to get to the gym or
Yeah.
get through the workout, that's probably not for you. And so you should be true to that and just stick in your lane. So when you look at all the stuff that you're doing, what would you say your unfair advantage is? What comes easy to you that other people find difficult to do?
It's a really great question. I have an eidetic memory. So basically anything I read or write down, I take a picture in my head and I remember it. So I really have a really easy time of integrating information into my body of knowledge, kind of spinning it around. And I was a teacher for a long time to kids with special learning challenges or special needs. So I have a very great skill of breaking really complex, strategies or commercial lending knowledge and breaking it down to small pieces that are really accessible to people and understanding learning styles. So for me, I build rapport really well. I speak a lot of languages. I've lived all over the world. So I love, computers as much as I love sledgehammers. So I have a lot of diverse skills. So, and I love people. I love who I work with. I have so much respect for the guy that hauls away the demo stuff and the commercial bank work sitting across from me. I think that everybody is, everybody deserves respect. So I treat everybody the same in terms of their value add of what they're doing. So those are, I
So
think, some skills I have.
yeah, definitely. And I think that people, I like to
Mhm.
ask that question because everybody has an unfair advantage. And I
Of
always say,
course.
if you were playing poker and you had an ace up your sleeve, wouldn't you play it all the time? So if you're
Mm,
listening at home, think about your unfair advantage and build your business around it. And that's literally going to give you that edge all the time. So what does your real estate portfolio look like today? And where do you see it going in the future?
I had a series of personal events happen, so my portfolio changed hands a bunch of years ago. We moved from San Diego to Florida just under 2 years ago now, and so we're a little
Mhm.
bit starting over. We have done flips in the area with a lot of success. We're in the Tampa market out here,
Flipping in
and
Florida is the thing, because apparently, maybe you can speak to this, holding property in Florida is expensive, something about the taxes and the insurance. I've
it,
heard that. I don't own property in Florida, so.
yeah, I mean, I think that with the bubble that happened in 2020 and 2021, even with investors, there was this mad kind of Shark Tank effect of purchasing property and expecting the equity to be in it as things rose. And when things came down or, changed with the interest rates, a lot of people really lost a lot of integrity and also money in this. So you are absolutely right. The buy and holds in Florida are harder to obtain. It doesn't mean that they're not out there, but the 1% rule definitely does not apply out in Florida. I do 2.5 or 3%, but there are a lot of really creative strategies that people can use with buy and holds, pad split, student
Mhm.
housing, section
That's been
section
big, pad
eight.
split.
Yeah, there's shared communal living spaces, group homes, sober living. There are a lot of ways and strategies that you can buy and hold. I think the old school days of straight up short-term rentals are becoming a thing of the past. There's a lot of regulations that are in. I
Yeah,
personally,
Airbnb, yeah.
yeah, I personally won't invest in an Airbnb right now. Things change under your feet. Dallas, right, a few months ago changed all the laws and nobody got grandfathered in. I don't, when I buy properties, I buy with many exit strategies. So I'm never caught in a place where I can't, even if I just have to sell it, that I won't sell it at, for a profit. So just have a lot of exit strategies. Just don't focus on that short term, because if something happens, you want to make sure that you don't have a long game.
So what do you see the future of private money lending and really real estate investing heading, especially in light of market trends and these economic factors?
I think it's just going to continue, just like Bitcoin, to be an alternative. I want to say economic disruptor. I think that I really am a support of people taking the control of their finances and their wealth into their own hands. And if you invest in a company, that is a great strategy, but you have very little control over the return that you are receiving. And the market trends dip and down, dip and down. Real estate, I want to say, is a hedge against inflation. And you have a
Mhm.
lot more control. Real estate's not going anywhere. People always have to live somewhere. It's always about how you buy properties, focusing on that. I really have a lot of really great hopes for private money lenders to get into the space, even if you only have a small amount of money. There are strategies that I'm learning about. I'm always constantly learning to get those people with less, let's say, than $10,000 into the private lending space. So I think there's great opportunity. There's a lot of really wonderful leaders in the community that are kind of trailblazing, I guess I would say. And I really am excited about the future.
So when you look at your strategy, are you find the deal and then get the money, or do you prefer to have the money sort of lined up and then go looking for deals?
Well, my mentor always told me that good deals find money,
Hmm.
not the other way around. So I bet you if anybody has a 65-cent deal, if you march your butt into your local real estate association, investor association meeting, and you raise your hand and you say, I need some help, I bet you're going to find someone to help you. So I always say, find the deal, the money will follow.
Yeah, that's certainly in the single family and the flip space. That's traditionally been the way that it's gone.
For
Let's talk
sure.
about a little bit. What advice would you give individuals looking to either enter into the private money lending space or the
Mm.
real estate investment arena?
Wow. How long do we have?
The
Like
short
a
point
minute.
form,
Yeah.
real worthy stuff.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
real.
So, and number one, understand what you're doing, meaning educate yourself. get a copy of a promissory note, of a deed of trust, know the difference between a deed and a mortgage, understand what a title commitment is, learn how to read an appraisal, learn everything you can before you put your money on the line. Ignorance in this business will make you broke. So do your due diligence, understand, take some education, get some education, do whatever you need to do to educate yourself. That's in the private lending space. Please don't do anything based upon a template that you download off of, offline. Like, that's not going to mitigate your risk. And that's what we try to do as much as we can, is create structure to deals to mitigate risk. So number one, mitigate risk. On the other side of that, I'm going to say the exact same thing for the real estate investor. Understand your market, understand formulas, make relationships with general contractors, make a relationship with lenders, educate yourself before you get into trouble. That, I think, a mass education, look at it as a college degree is the way that I look at it. So both sides, just get as much education as you can.
Get educated. There's the t-shirt for you. Get
Yes.
educated. So are there any upcoming projects or developments at Golden Handshake Capital that our listeners should be aware of?
Wow. Well, the network is growing massively, and we are inviting people to apply. We definitely have an application process for lenders and for borrowers. We want to make sure we're a good fit for everyone. There are lenders out there that are predatory. We do not utilize them in our network. We want everybody to create relationships that are going to be forward motion with success. Our company acts as the fiduciary of these transactions to make sure that before a challenge arises, we know about it. So I definitely see our company growing and trying to get people into commercial spaces. That's the next launch of my business, is trying to figure out how to create a fund or an LLC. Still learning how to do it, and helping people take their smaller amounts of money that they have and invest it. And really become capital partners.
Awesome. So if people want to connect with you, they want to find out more, what should they do? How do they find you?
Sure, you can check me out on Facebook. You can look at Golden Handshake Capital. You can go to the Private Money Lending Network with Stacy Patel, and those are probably the two best ways to find me.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate you stopping by, and
Thanks so much.
until next time, guys, we'll catch you on the next episode.
Yeah, good luck.
Hey there, I really hope you enjoyed that episode. And as always, if you want to listen to more daily interview content, make sure you subscribe. And if you're an active real estate investor and you're doing deals and you'd like to get featured on this show, then just head over to daveinterviewyou.com. Now at moneypartnerformula.com, we help real estate investors to create a process for predictably getting capital so they can do more deals without relying on hard money lenders or the banks. We do this by building them a private capital marketing system. Now, if you want help turning yourself into a big money capital attraction machine, then book a call with our team to see how we can help. Just visit moneypartnerformula.com to find out more. All right, take care, and we'll see you on the next interview.